King Bob, the infamous hacker who leaked music from Juice WRLD, Lil Uzi, Playboi Carti, and more, just got sentenced to 10 years in federal prison. He's the first member of the Scattered Spider cybercrime group to be sentenced. But who the f is King Bob? What is Scattered Spider? And how did a 20-year-old hacker earn 10 years behind bars while being ordered to pay $13 million to his victims?
Noah Urban's accused of stealing more than $800,000 from 5 different people in an elaborate cryptocurrency scheme.
King Bob, who also went by online aliases Sosa, Elijah, and Gustavo Fring, is actually Noah Michael Urban. Urban started making waves online a couple of years ago after leaking lyrics and songs from numerous hip-hop artists. As you can imagine, the Carti and Juice WRLD fan bases are desperate for more music. He allegedly sold some of these tracks on Discord to fan communities willing to pay high sums, often tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars for exclusive songs no one has ever heard. Some fans on Reddit theorized that King Bob might be friends with the artists, or have some kind of connection, and that was how he was getting early access to the music. Others guessed that he was hacking into the artist's iCloud, but no one really knew. In September of 2023, Ariana Grande, whose music had been leaked by Urban, made a frustrated plea, saying she didn't know how people were continuing to leak her songs, and telling whoever it was to please stop. I doubt he would have stopped, but leaking music wasn't the only thing Urban was doing. He was never even charged for the music leaks, but he was caught up in a much more serious web of crime. In January 2024, at the age of 19, Noah Urban was arrested in Palm Coast, Florida.
Just turn this way for me, we're gonna switch out your cuffs. If this is uncomfortable, just give me 1 sec. Before he gets in our car, just turn this way towards us. Move your feet out to one side, there you go, stand still.
Charged with 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, 8 counts of wire fraud, and 5 counts of aggravated identity theft. At the time, he was deemed to have stolen over $800,000 from at least 5 victims between August 2022 and March 2023. His methods involved phishing and SIM swapping attacks, where he would direct phone calls and texts to devices owned by him and his buddies. They would then extract people's personal data and use it to hack into the victim's crypto account, and then steal all the money in these crypto accounts. Urban was facing up to 20 years in federal prison on each wire fraud charge. Noah's parents testify at a bail hearing, and they say this: Noah moved out to live in Airbnbs in August of 2023 and used this lifestyle to travel to Tampa and Miami. He said his son never had a job and he did not provide him with money, except for $20 here and there. He also told the courtroom that Urban did not want to live there because he didn't like the pressure put on him to do something with his life. His mother also testified, telling the courtroom that if she found Noah withdrawing money, she would turn him in. She said he had not lived with her since he was 16. And she was not even aware he had been indicted for his crimes. He was very secretive with his computer, and it made her suspicious. To make this even crazier, she said Urban had oppositional defiant disorder, which is a type of behavior disorder where children are uncooperative, defiant, and hostile towards peers, often treated with therapy. The judge agreed with the prosecution that Urban should be held in jail until his trial, concerned that if released, he would quote-unquote seek to obstruct justice in any way, which was probably the right call, because once the FBI got a search warrant for his computer, they found that he had already installed software to delete evidence. Imagine if your information was in the hands of someone like King Bob. Your bank account could be breached right now and you're months away from learning about it. Do you want to give a criminal a 9-month head start? On average, it takes 277 days for customers to be alerted about a breach in their account. And by that time, your information is already out there for whoever wants it. In the past year, there has been 2 breaches at Bank of America and a breach at Citigroup and JP Morgan. That's why it's really important to talk about today's sponsor, Aura. Aura alerts me if they find my number, email, or social security number on the dark web. Aura lets me know fast if someone tries to use this information to access my credit or bank account. Through Aura, I learned my email was on mobile dark websites. I enabled email masking and scam protection to help keep my email safe and prevent it from being used by scammers. And now I feel way safer on the internet. Having this extra layer of protection on the internet has been a game changer for my peace of mind, and I think it's worth it for you guys too. They even offer up to $5 million in identity theft insurance should the worst case scenario happen. I know there's a lot of data breaches, but trust me, the peace of mind is worth it. Stop leaving yourself vulnerable to data breaches right now. Go to my sponsor, aura.com/CUFBOYS to get a 14-day free trial and see if any of your information has been exposed. Despite the attempts to cover his tracks, while awaiting trial in November of 2024, Urban was hit with even more federal charges, this time in California, for conspiracy to commit wire fraud as part of the Scattered Spider cybercrime ring. The new charges allege that King Bob was part of the online group, which also went by the names Octopus, Scatter Swine, and UNC 3944. This group targeted companies and stole millions of dollars in cryptocurrency. 3 other members, including 2 guys from Texas and 1 from North Carolina, were also indicted, and a criminal complaint was raised against a member from the UK who was later arrested in Spain, possessing Bitcoin worth over $27 million. If I were to guess, all of that money is stolen. $27 million worth. The group specialized in SMS and voice phishing attacks that tricked employees into entering their details at websites designed to look like those of their employers. Some messages told the employees that their VPN was expiring or notified them of changes to their work schedules. This is some shit straight out of Mr. Robot. Scattered Spider targeted over 130 companies, including DoorDash, MailChimp, and Plex, stealing company data and customer information. Members of the group would boast about their gains on the Com, a community of hackers and cybercriminals that were largely active on Telegram and Discord. Urban, in particular, would often brag about stealing unreleased music under his alias of King Bob or Sosa. I always wondered how these hackers got this leaked music. Investigators later determined that he had accessed tracks by hacking music industry executives' accounts. But again, the music leaks were not part of the charges. Urban was also found to be part of Star Fraud, a SIM swapping group that has been linked to Scattered Spider and was likely responsible for targeting casinos.
We didn't know how bad it was going to get because the next day we realized that these people sold my husband's stocks. You transfer your numbers to T-Mobile. I'm like, no, I did not.
In 2023, they launched a cyber attack against Caesars and held them to ransom for $30 million. The casino reportedly paid $15 million to them. I could not believe this. This casino actually paid the ransom demand. They also attacked MGM Resorts' cybersecurity, supposedly because the casino caught them trying to rig slot machines in their favor. Both attacks caused the casino's stock prices to fall, and MGM ended up paying out $45 million to victims of the breach. This group was causing mayhem. $15 million paid out to them, and then $40 million paid out to victims. Urban's charges in California were absorbed into his Florida trial, and he initially pled not guilty, but he changed his mind in April of 2025 and agreed to plead guilty to one count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, one count of wire fraud, and one count of aggravated identity theft, in addition to another count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud from another California case. The maximum possible sentence was 62 years. Theoretically, the prosecutors could have recommended the full sentence, and the judge could have sentenced him to 60 years in fucking prison. Urban's lawyer said her defendant had made some very poor decisions as a teenager and claimed he had been taught by his older co-conspirators. Given his age, he was likely 18 or younger when most of the crimes took place. The prosecutors proposed an 8-year sentence for him. However, on August 20th, 2025, the judge gave Urban 10 years in prison and ordered him to forfeit $4.8 million in assets, including cryptocurrency and other property. Urban was also forced to pay $13 million in restitution, which was to be split between a total of 59 victims. The judge gave him 2 more years than the prosecutors asked, and the reason why he did this is astonishing. Tweeting from the Florida County Jail after the verdict, I don't know if he's doing it or a friend, Urban called the sentence unjust and claimed that the judge had purposely ignored his age because a Scattered Spider member had hacked the judge during this case. This actually turned out to be true. In a status hearing held in February 2025, it was revealed that the judge's email account had been hacked and a copy of Urban's sealed indictment was stolen. The hacker had impersonated a judge and called the court's contractor, asking for a password change. And they actually did it. They changed the password for this random person on the phone. Urban is the first member of Scattered Spider to be sentenced. The co-conspirators in the California case will most likely be sentenced to prison as well. This doesn't mean that Scattered Spider is dead though. After taking a break following the attack on MGM Resorts, the group has been active in 2025, targeting airlines, insurance companies, and retailers. Even the Google Threat Intelligence Group reported it was aware of multiple intrusions in the US, which bear all the hallmarks of Scattered Spider activity. This was after a wave of ransomware and extortion attacks on retailers and grocery stores in the UK. Do you think some of these hackers are actually talented and should use it in a different way? I think so. But these boys are causing chaos, and hopefully one day they can get their hands on the Epstein files.